Hi, everybody. Alan, that's a funny guess as to what I would be wearing. Bartleby, I guess you're having another great day. That's so kind of you to gift another 5 memberships after you were so generous yesterday. And D, I'm so glad that you got a gifted membership and that you're able to join today's stream. It's so nice to see everybody. I promised you 3 streams a week. And even though it's starting to really wind down for 4th of July, we're going to do an Ask Me Anything instead. So it's very nice to see everybody. Oh, Justin, thank you also for your generosity, gifting another 5 memberships. So we're going to do about half an hour of Ask Me Anything, and I'm going to try and make sure I do both super chat and regular questions, so you don't have to feel you have to do a super chat to get a question in there. My pleasure, Tay. Thank you. So you can ask me anything you'd like. We can talk about anything. Kaylin, I'm glad you're taking a mental health day, and I'm glad to be part of the mental health day. Poke 1855 says, Grace, what do you think about Save TCM? Well, I'm surprised that, Lewis, thank you for gifting a membership. I'm surprised that Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Paul Thomas Anderson were so easily placated by one phone call with the Zaz. As I keep saying, you know, pay attention to what he does, not what he says. What's he going to say? Is he going to do a maniacal laugh on the phone and say, that's right, I'm killing it? What are you going to do about it? I mean, neither one of them works with Warner Brothers, you know? I mean, I guess only Nolan really has the power to say, I will definitely never come back if you kill TCM. I mean, I think, you know, let's see. I still suspect that TCM might die a very slow death. But I'm glad, you know, I don't know. I'm glad that Steven Spielberg and company kind of did something. You know, they could always start their own channel. Hey, Dancing Dog 60, thanks for gifting those memberships. So I hope they fix that. What am I seeing? Indy, Jeff Priest? Oh, thank you, Will is in trouble. That's very kind of you. Dancing Dog 60, I thanked you for gifting the memberships. Always so generous. Next week, I'm seeing Indiana Jones, and I'm also seeing Mission Impossible next week. Oh, exciting! I'll review Indiana Jones and have a spoiler review next week for when the movie comes out, but the review embargo for Mission Impossible isn't until the week after. But I think, you know, they're having these early screenings because of the 4th of July holiday. But they're very aggressive with Mission Impossible. Bell Trailer says, what is your biggest worry about the state of movies and streaming today? I guess I would say losing some of the artistry. And then as I recently discussed, I think it was in a trailer reaction, but a friend of mine in the industry pointed out there was no way for new artistic directors, name directors to get a foothold. You know, like we have Nolan and Scorsese and Spielberg doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now, but where's the next one going to come from? And some people have said, well, what about from prestige television, you know, like Mark Malloy, who does Succession and did The Menu, and that's true, but I feel like, you know, I think the system is still kind of broken. I mean, it'll have to evolve and adapt, but I just wonder how long that's going to take. And I do worry about losing the value of our film history, and that's why TCM is so important. Lone Wolf Media says, as a little monster, what is your favorite Lady Gaga song? Mine would be Applause. I think she really should do a horror movie next. I like a lot of Lady Gaga stuff, you know. You know, I like, you know, Bad Romance and stuff like that. You know, a lot of the classics. I don't think she's done, in my opinion, a really good song for a while. That's okay. She's in her actor phase, and I'm very excited for her to play the Harley Quinn. Roberto Hernandez says, I saw The Little Mermaid yesterday, and I love Ariel and Eric's romance. I think it's better than the animated. What do you think? Oh, I couldn't agree more, Roberto. I think it seemed like they actually did fall in love here, you know, instead of just because they were the 2 leads in an animated fairy tale. I really like that. I've been making my list for I still have to see Indiana Jones before I can do it. My list of the top 10 movies of the year so far. And I was going to do a bad list, but I'll have to wait, I think, to the end of the year because I couldn't fill a bad list. I only had 4. I don't think I'm going to review Asteroid City, Will, because I couldn't make it to the screening. I tried so hard, but it didn't work out. And everybody doesn't seem to care for it. And so I think it's too late. I've missed it. Sam says, hi, Grace, do you think Barbie will be the biggest movie of the summer, or the lack of premium screens might affect it? I think the sales have been really strong. I think out of the gate, I think it might be stronger than both Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer. But it's interesting. I've been checking ticket sales, and it's doing very well in New York and Los Angeles. But I also like to check theaters in Middle America, even New Jersey. And it's not selling any tickets, but none of them are. You know, like, we're in the coasts and in the movie space, we're all like, woo! But I think regular moviegoers, I mean, hopefully they'll both do all three of them will do a lot of walk-up business. All right, hold on. I'm falling behind here on the questions here. All right, got that. Got that. Ah. I did that one. I did that. Come on. Oh, hey, Shlok says, hi, Grace. Long time. How are you? I hope you're having a great day. Which one are you more excited for, Oppenheimer or Barbie? I'm really excited for both of them. I think they serve very different purposes. It's good old-fashioned counter-programming. I'm excited for both, quite frankly. Although I suspect that Barbie's going to be really fun because some of the tickets, especially as I said here in New York, have sold quite quickly. Rippy says, hi from the Cloudy Bay area. We all think Spider-Verse is a lock for best animation, but could Miyazaki come in with his How Do You Live and upset? Well, I don't know. Miyazaki's always saying he's going to retire, right? And he hasn't. I remember years ago he said he was done. I don't know if Spider-Verse is a lock. I think it's very strong. I really liked Elemental. I got to tell you. I really liked Elemental. And also, we haven't seen Wish yet. And Wish is doing something experimental with animation as well. So I got to see what it is. I got to see how it turned out. Let's see here. Kevin says, hi, Grace. Currently on a road trip driving to California from Georgia. Woo! That's a long trip. You're seeing the country. When is The Boys Season 4 and Invincible Season 2 releasing? Super excited. I'm excited too. Although I have to tell you, I heard that The Boys Season 4 can't come out until apparently Gen V is released, but Gen V has some issues and so is delayed. So I don't know what's happening with The Boys Season 4. It better come out soon. I'm really excited about it. I love it so much. Sam Yeager says, hi, Grace. Do you have any plans to see No Hard Feelings? Since you couldn't make it, I'm seeing it tonight. No, I'm not. I'm just going to skip it. I don't even know if I would care for the film, and I don't think it's getting a lot of traction. It's not even going to open like second or third. So I think I missed it, unfortunately. Bumblebee, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. And as always, I love your avatar pic of the two of you together there. Joseph says, maybe a silly question. No, not at all. But what do you think about your most viewed video being the Chipmunks with 38 million? Yeah, that was one of my earlier videos, and it did really well. And I love it. I love the Chipmunks. They'll always have a special place in my heart because of that. So it was great. Bartleby. Hey, Grace. Post-pandemic, horror films seem to be strong, but comedies seem to suffer. Barbie seems to be the only comedy film to have had buzz. Do you agree that comedies have been lacking? If so, why? Well, I think people don't feel they're theater worthy. I think what helps Barbie is that it's just so big. And it's like a blockbuster, and it's like bigger than life, and they really, worked really hard on it. And I think the performances seem really fun. Margot Robbie might finally, I think, have found her character, and so I'm really excited. And also, I want to give a shout out to her being a producer on it as well. When Margot Robbie makes a mistake, I call her out on it. But when I think she does a really good job, I also congratulate her. And I think for once, she's produced something wonderful for herself and has done a really phenomenal job. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I think so far so good. I'm just worried about it being a little bit too message driven, but hopefully in a good way. I loved Greta Gerwig's Little Women, and I'm hoping to have the same experience here. But I think to answer your question, Bartleby, I think most comedies just seem too small, unfortunately. Max says, have any casting ideas for Halle Bailey? Do you have any casting ideas for Halle Bailey in the MCU? She was so good in The Little Mermaid, I hope she has a huge career. Well, she's in The Color Purple, and she looks really great in that trailer. So I think that, now I think she really needs to prove herself a little bit more as a serious actress. She's already done the blockbuster, and hopefully she'll just continue to get work. But I don't know if she should join the MCU, quite frankly. Oh, thanks, Archie. I'm glad you like my glasses. And then VTTV says, I've been a member for 1 month. That's right, I like your badge. Who is your favorite Disney character? Mine is Winnie the Pooh. He has a special place in my heart. Oh, I love Winnie the Pooh. I like Mike Wazowski because I have a friend who said I was like Mike Wazowski. So I kind of means a lot to me. And then Austin says, hi, Grace. What do you think of Secret Invasion Episode 1? I found it difficult to follow, wasn't entirely lost. It's Andor all over again. There are some fans and people who are like, I love it. You're all Philistines. And then the rest of us are like, it's not good. And the viewership's very low. I mean, it hasn't come up on Nielsen, but this thing barely made any dent in social media. Viewership on all coverage for the show is low across the board on YouTube. So I think it's a clunker out of the gate. Maddie says, which Rebels Clone Wars characters are you the most excited to see in Ahsoka? Are there any that you're nervous about? You know what I feel bad about? Because I didn't watch Rebels, like when Zeb showed up in Mandalorian Season 3, I would have had such a much bigger reaction if I'd watched the show beforehand. So I'm really glad that I've watched it now and I can react appropriately when I see these characters. And I think Dave Filoni will do them justice, even though some of them were very disappointingly adapted into Obi-Wan. I think they're going to be done justice in Ahsoka. Like, I just finished Season 2 with Twilight of the Apprentice, and Darth Maul shows up, and I was like, I knew it was Darth Maul. I was like, how does Ezra not know his Jedi history? That's clearly Darth Maul. I don't care if he's got a little hood on and you can't see his horns. But it was great. And Sam Witwer continues to do such an incredible job voicing that character. I was like, oh, this is good stuff. Put it directly in my veins. It's so good. Ryan Deloney says, hi, Grace, will you be reviewing Asteroids? No, I will not. I will not be reviewing either of those, sorry to say. All right, let me answer some questions that are not super chat, and then I'll get back to them. Okay, so just hold on a second. Azen says, will you do a review of the Mortal Kombat 1 story mode like you did with Injustice 2? I have to see, Azen. The Mortal Kombat coverage for the first reveal video was huge, but it dropped a lot with the gameplay trailer. So I don't know, especially because I don't usually cover Mortal Kombat. I don't know. I have to see if it would be worth the time to do it. So I'm going to gauge how things go. I'm going to react to the Johnny Cage trailer because I'll probably have a Jean-Claude Van Damme cameo in it. So I'll talk about that and we'll see how that goes. But with Injustice, it's DC. So I can really cover that very well. Like I didn't do the story mode for Mortal Kombat 11 for a similar reason. However, I will 1,002,000,000,000% be reacting to the DLC because the DLC is very much in my space and I'm excited about it. So that's going to be really great. No matter what happens with the game, when the DLC comes out for Mortal Kombat 1, through the roof. Gerard says, do you think the person who died in Secret Invasion is really dead? Yes, I do. Unfortunately. Adrian says, thoughts on Chopper from Rebels? He's my favorite droid. At first I didn't get the Chopper love, but I'm getting it now. He just punched another robot out. Hey, Platinum Diva. Oh, I'm so glad you made it today, and it's always so nice to see you. Let's see here. Just Josh says, how do you feel about live-action Bo-Katan? I liked her, but I mean, a lot of times I was just like, it's Katie Sackhoff, but she's fine. Let's see here. She's really holding on to it with an iron grip because it's all she's got. Louis Duvall says, hey, Grace, longtime fan and watcher here in Philadelphia. I've grown up watching Turner Classic Movies on AMC channel. Where are those movies going, or are they gone forever? I think AMC, did they air Turner Classic Movies on there? They aired classics on AMC. There'll always be classic movies around, but I think they're getting worse and worse in terms of how they're curated, and that's what's really sad about it. Thank God for the AFI Top 100 list. Nikita says, did you watch the Challengers trailer? What were your thoughts on it? Nikita, I just kind of felt that wasn't for me, It's a little too out there for me. So I'm like, have fun. But it's not. It's like when you go to a party and you're like, this party has gotten too wild. I'm gonna go home. That's how I kind of felt with the Challengers trailer. When that joke about, hey, Mom, come pick me up from this party. It's gotten crazy. Well, I called my mom to come pick me up. Melissa, I do have to wear the new glasses. Maybe after 4th of July. I'm being a big chicken baby. I gotta wear them. Yes, I just finished Twilight of the Apprentice. So I've finished through season 2, all the episodes, like the main episodes. Ozzy Gee says, does the second weekend drop percentage include overseas or just domestic? Just domestic. Let's see. We'll do a poll on Secret Invasion as to what you think of it. Hold on. No spoilers, though. What did you think of Secret Invasion? I've been reluctant to do the poll on Twitter because I don't want to hit it too hard. Because some people like it. Loved it. It's okay. Boring. We'll just do super boring. I think we only need 3 options. Oh, I guess the 4th would be, I'm not watching it. Not watching. Oh, there it goes. Okay, hold on. I got more things to get to. Hold on. Let me get back here. Let me get back to the super chats. Ross says, is there an Injustice 3 coming? That's a good question, Ross. I'm not quite sure. Galliot Production says, any updates on the Superman stuff? Nope, especially now that we don't know what's going on with Comic-Con with them. But, you know, he's going to have to cast somebody eventually. I hope he doesn't do a Twitter announcement. Oh, look, Jay Shrumpelstiltskin just gifted another 5 memberships. Thank you. Away says, are we getting Quake back? I heard Quake was coming back, but I can't tell you where. Nobody told me when Quake was coming back. Like where? I just know that she's coming back. Let's see here. Voice Inject says, do you think Marvel will ever get out? Do you think Marvel will ever get out of comics? No, of course not. I don't think so. Sion, I'm so glad you're enjoying Severance. I hope they didn't mess up season 2. There have been some awful rumors about it. I'm going back here. I'm going back. Black Shy Guy says, Grace, do you think James Gunn should tax write off everything? Well, it will be David Zaslav's decision, but heck yeah. I never would have said the Blue Beetle was the first member of his new DCU. There was no point to. I don't think anybody's like, well, now I'm going to watch it. I mean, I don't think it was needed. Colby King says, hi, Grace. I'm not sure if you've answered this before, but if Jonathan Majors ends up being out as Kang, what do you think happens to Kang Dynasty? That's a great question, Colby. I'd just cancel it because I got to tell you, I don't think at this point anyone's excited about it because I don't think Kang has really worked out. I would really like to get out of the multiverse, quite frankly. I'm done. I've had enough. Naveen says, hi, Grace. I've been a fan for a long time. Lovely to chat with you today. Oh, my pleasure. Can you share some of your best YouTube channels that you might love to watch when you are free? Love from London. Oh, well, I love How It Should Have Ended. I think they're hilarious. And in the same vein, I like Pitch Meeting. I think that's very funny. And then also, I like Mr. Beast. I'm going to say, I like Mr. Beast. I think Mr. Beast is a sweetheart. I think he does good work. I think he helps people. And I think his videos are entertaining. Maddie says, which Rebels Clone Wars character? Oh, I already did that. Okay. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Yeah, I'm caught up. Woohoo. Woohoo. Let's go back down here. Let's see here. Where am I? Liebum, I am reading the new Avengers comic, but I haven't read the second Avengers comic. It's sitting in on my iPad, but I've only read the first one so far. You know, they made the mistake of releasing Titans and Nightwing in the same week, and they're so like the same comic. I was like, oh, this shouldn't have been done the same week. The Internet Fairy says, hi, Grace, I'm 18 and moving to New York on my own, but I'm scared. Any advice? Don't be scared. I mean, watch your back. Be careful. Always. You got to have eyes in the back of your head in New York City. But I think that's a great adventure for you. I hope that you know some people in New York. If not, the good thing about New York is that you always feel like you're surrounded by people. What I would recommend that you do is I would look up classes and stuff like that. See how maybe ways you can meet people, maybe join a gym if you can. Just be out and about, utilize the city. And also be very careful. Try not to be out past 1 a.m. I think when it's early hours in New York City, there's not a lot of people out and it can become quite dangerous, at least currently. John says, I thought Netflix was immune to churn, but with password sharing gone, they've been added to the pot. More churn in their future? I don't know. I think with what HBO is planning to do, Zaslav, as we discussed in yesterday's stream, with licensing some content to Netflix, we might see like a dwindling of streaming services, perhaps. And Netflix will still be there. I think Netflix is pretty impervious. I think it'll have ups and downs, but I think it's a good service. And again, it's the Coca-Cola of streaming. So it'll always be there, I think. Let's see here. Chris also does not care for Secret Invasion. Andrew says, Wiccan is one of my favorite characters, but I do not want to get my hopes up for Agatha. Do you think Joe is a lock for Billy? Yes, he's Billy. Like a gabillion%, he's Billy. But the question is, how good will the show be? That I'm nervous about. Mrs. Movies, I'm so glad you enjoyed Mission Impossible. I'm seeing it next week, and I will be reviewing it. The embargo lifts the week after. Dwight says, any tea on Marvel's plans for Loki after season 2? No, I do not know what's up for Loki after season 2, I'm afraid. Dorothy says, hi Grace, I was bored sitting in the court's jury summons lounge and I found you're live. Oh boy, I'm so glad we can keep you company. Jury duty can be brutal. So I'm glad that we're there with you. Chris says, how long do you think it'll take Netflix or some other studio to make a movie documentary about the missing Titanic submarine? Oh, that's why I think somebody wrote that later on. They have one airing, I believe, today in the UK. And your little brother Gabriel also wants to know my thoughts on the submersible, as does Chico. I think it's really sad. I think it's a real failure of journalism that a journalist knew how unsafe it was and didn't report it because they were doing a fluff piece on the sub. And I think that it speaks to a larger problem in the world and that people assume that other people have their best interests at heart and won't be irresponsible. I think that you'll always be better off assuming the worst and then being pleasantly surprised. That's something I've always said, but of course MJ said it in No Way Home as well. I think that's good advice, and I think that, just like with the government and like what's in food and chemicals, like, I'm very sad to say that I think that a lot of organizations don't care about individuals, which is really sad. Although in this case, the head of the company put himself on the submersible, so he was just an idiot, sadly. It's really sad, especially what happened, it's very sad for those people. I think it's horrible. Let me close the poll before I get to next questions. Hold on, wait a minute. All right. So, 39% are not watching. The most of you are not watching. Wow, Marvel's really, really hurt themselves in terms of being a brand. 32% think it's okay. 15% loved it. And 12% think it's super boring. That's not great. So only 15% like it. Whew, that's rough. But I'm not surprised at all. I thought it was torture to watch it. I mean, maybe it gets better after episode 2. But after episode 2 was not, it was just the same. With a shocker end of the episode, which we'll talk about on Wednesday. Bartleby, one last question. I'm dying to know. What do you think was Marvel's biggest missed opportunity so far? Mine is the Wanda storyline ending up not living up to the hype. Oh, I would agree with that, Bartleby. I think the biggest mistake is just deciding to ignore the comics for some strange reason and ignore their world building. I think that's why they were so successful to begin with. But I also think the multiverse was a huge mistake. I think they never should have done the multiverse. It wasn't needed. They could have done something else with Wanda. I think the multiverse was their biggest mistake. So horrible. Dan says, what is your ideal villain story arc for the Batman 2? Dan, at this point, I trust Matt Reeves. So I'm excited to see what he has planned. Mando's A says, do you think Spider-Verse could get nominated for Best Picture? Maybe the finale. I think it's hard that it's only half a movie. That would be great, though, if it could. Daniel says, will you review Heart of Stone when it comes out? Maybe. I watched the trailer again after I saw Extraction 2, because for Father's Day, I was like, hey, do you guys want to see this trailer for Gal Gadot making the same movie? And it was like the same movie, which I found like kind of off-putting. So, but some time will have passed by then, so that's good. William Arazo says, would you run a major comic book publishing company if they asked you? I'd give it a whirl. Sure, why not? That'd be funny. Ariel Knight says, what does the outcome of The Flash mean for Will Smith? Do you think the next Bad Boys 4 will be hurt by it? That's an interesting question. I think that the problem a lot with Ezra Miller is that they had ongoing problems and, they hurt people like I think they're a little bit different, the scenarios, but yes, I think Bad Boys 4 is a test for Will Smith. Emancipation didn't do well, so I think that that's not very promising, but it was a small awards kind of movie that was in black and white on Apple TV, so it wasn't a true test. But I don't think that anyone else would do another movie with Will Smith until they see how Bad Boys 4 performs. Let's see here. Visionary Quest, did you hear the Marvels post-credit scene? I heard both of them. And again, I will never tease the second one because it's too good, and I hope it never leaks, but sadly I feel that it will. And I think the leaking has got a little out of control. Toon Dude 19 says, Grace, are you enjoying the new Titans comic? Should Starfire be the leader? I think it's pretty good. I don't think the Titans are really an A team. I like them, but I don't really feel they're a good substitute for the Justice League. I don't know what it is with both Marvel and DC trying to move on to new generations of characters. When I'm like, I like the characters that we had, thank you. Can't you just write better stories for them? Gorka says, hey Grace, just joined the stream. How do you think they will introduce the new X-Men characters after Deadpool 3? I think they probably won't introduce the new X-Men characters until after Secret Wars, because I've heard that the X-Men will pop up there as well, the Fox X-Men. Philip says, hi Grace, been a fan since the Indie Mogul days. Hooray! How are you feeling about Indiana Jones 5's mixed reviews? Thanks from the Upper East Side. Hey Philip, fellow New Yorker. I'm nervous about the mixed reviews, especially because Crystal Skull was so bad. I hope they didn't mess it up again. But I'm still excited to see it because I think the trailers looked pretty good. Danny says, hey Grace, Danny, it's always so nice to see you. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. Will you cover Ahsoka series on a weekly basis? Heck yeah! For sure. For sure. That's right, Trisha. Golshifte Farani is Mystique from Extraction 2. Carlos says, hey Grace, any news or tea on season 2 of House of the Dragon? Has it been affected by the strike? I don't know. I think I heard that it was, right? I know that Father from Raised by Wolves is in it, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see. Nikita says, are there any directors that fell off but you think deserve another chance to showcase their talent? Patty Jenkins, maybe. I don't know if she'll ever get it because she really stepped in it. But she did a good, I don't know how much of a Wonder Woman 1 was her, though. Remember at first we were like, how did Patty Jenkins get thrown off of Thor? If she did such a good job with Wonder Woman. And then we saw Wonder Woman 1984 and we were like, I'm starting to see it. Ernest says, hey Grace, in honor of living legend Meryl Streep's 74th birthday, what is your favorite movie and performance by her? I guess I would say The Devil Wears Prada, but I also really liked her in The Iron Lady. It was uncanny how she was able to capture, some people who are much older get this kind of look in their eye, this piercing, weird look. And she captured it perfectly. And I was like, oh, that's it. My grandmother used to look at me that way, And so I thought that was really uncanny that she was able to do that. She's a great actress. Obviously. Nicholas says, Grace, around what season and episode of Star Wars Rebels have you seen? Well, as I said before, Nicholas, during the stream, I'm sorry you missed it, but I'm through season 2 now. Lone Wolf Media, I'm glad you like the polls. Adrianic says, do you think that Lady Gaga can win an Oscar for Joker? I think it's unlikely, but let's see what they got. All right, hold on. Voice Inject says, do you use a laptop or a desktop? I'm on a desktop right now, but I do use a laptop sometimes as well. I have both. Let's see here. What did Wade do? Sean Turner, am I looking forward to Robert Eggers' Nosferatu? Maybe. Xtina says Monster is one of the all-time best movies. That's true. That's a good point, Xtina, directed by Patty Jenkins. Let's see here. Kate says, hey Grace, are you going to review Nimona? I'm trying to get a screener right now, Kate, so that I can review it for next week. Hey Starry, thanks for joining BTT Movie Club. We have a July watch-along coming up soon. Faisal, I'm going back here on the chats. The Dark Savior says, someone I respect told me Catwoman is the very worst Batman villain and is uninteresting in every version. What? How do you still respect them? I like Catwoman, but is she uninteresting and the worst Batman villain? I thought I'd ask you since you're a huge Batman fan. I love Catwoman, although I don't know how much of a villain she is anymore, right? She's more like Batman's girlfriend. I love the character. I think she's really fantastic. Thanks, Poke. Motivator Crew says, why Disney doesn't include their name in the Marvel titles, like saying Disney's Doctor Strange? Well, because Marvel is the brand. That's why. Marvel's the brand, so that's why they don't do it. Neutral Man says, Grace, do you like Kelly Clarkson? Sure, why not? Adrian says, have you started The Bear? I have not, but I'm going to watch it later today, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Sean says, the problem with the DCU is that the public just doesn't care. The characters don't come across as larger than life compared to someone like Iron Man. I was talking about this to someone just last night. I think the DC seems kind of antiquated, unfortunately, when you compare it to what Marvel's doing, which is too bad. I have a stuffy ear. Sorry. Zaire says, is the Barbie movie going to be secretly dark? Maybe. I'm not sure. I heard that I don't know if it was like dark, but I know it's very message driven from what I've heard. But they've done some reshoots, so. Alwatch says, would you go to the farthest edge of our galaxy or deepest part of our ocean? Neither. I don't think either is safe. Aren't you watching the news? Let's see here. That's very generous of you, Latino boy. Hi, Grace. If Barbie doesn't do well with this, will this be it for Margot Robbie? I only see her as Harley. Is it better for new actors to act in a range of movies rather than getting into superhero movies so as not to be typecast, like Tom Holland, for example? Well, no. I mean, if you have the opportunity to be a really iconic character, take it. But I think Barbie is going to do well. I think Barbie might not, I don't know if it's going to be a huge, huge movie, but I don't think I don't suspect it's going to bomb. It's going to be really bad for her if it does. Gerard, I have not seen The Foundation at all. Zombie says, what did you think of the Ahsoka versus Vader fight? I thought that was great. I'd seen it before, though, when I was doing research on Ahsoka, so I had seen that little clip before. Chris, yeah, sucks for Gal Gadot, but she did such a bad job acting in Wonder Woman 1984. I think she's somewhat culpable. And Elon says, we don't agree on AI, but we agree the opening of Secret Invasion looked awful. Cheers to us. Yes, we don't have to agree on everything, Elon. Josh says, hi, Grace, thoughts on Andy Muschietti casting IT collaborator Bill Skarsgård as the new Bruce Wayne? No way, he's too young. He can't have a very big child. I think I got your question, Christina, right? Let's see here. Oddly Specific says, listening to the live while downloading the Baldur's Gate 3 game. Brought it for my little brother, for my brother and myself to play while he recovers from knee surgery. Thanks for getting him through. Oh, it's my pleasure. And I'm glad your brother's doing well. And it sounds like you're a very good brother to take such good care of him. Let's see here. I think I'm almost caught up. Ryan says, is Little Mermaid a soft success or a disappointment? Why would Disney greenlight Bambi and Lilo and Stitch if Little Mermaid underperformed? I have no idea, Ryan. It seems ridiculous to me. Thanks, Love to Travel. Thank you. Mandy says, Grace, have you heard when the next season of True Detective will come out? Why are they so cagey about release dates? I think maybe it's because they're nervous about the writer's strike, and so they're trying to pace out their material. That's the only reason I can think of. Chandler says, I'm an illustrator and decided not to support Secret Invasion. You know, that's the only way Hollywood will hear you, if you vote with your ticket dollars or your views. All right, I think I'm all caught up now. All right, let me do last. I got to get going. So I have just a few at the end here. So hold on. These are the last questions, okay? This is it. I got to do it fast. Gritter Play says, hey, Grace, are you liking the serious tone of Secret Invasion on Disney+? I like the serious tone. Should all episodes have dropped for a better storytelling experience for the audience? Well, we won't know until all 6 are done, but I've watched the first 2, and I thought they were really bad. Alwatch says, although DC is a mess, I do like they dip into different genres, like Joker being a musical movie. Well, let's see how it turns out. What could a DC espionage movie look like? Well, I'm nervous now that a Marvel espionage show turned out so bad. Subasiso says, hey Grace, can we discuss how bad the summer box office is? Every single blockbuster besides Spider-Verse has performed lower than its previous entry or sequel. That's right, Subasiso. I think it's the overcrowding. I think it's really bad and they don't have enough premium screens. Carter B says, what's your favorite snack to eat at the movies? Mine's a Kit Kat. Oh, Kit Kats are delicious. Although, you know, right now I'm not eating any sugar or carbs, really. At least not whole grain carbs. And thankfully, popcorn is a whole grain. So I have popcorn and water now, like a prisoner at the movies. Anthony Molay says, how is Oppenheimer looking? I love historical movies and I am excited to go see it in theaters, unless it's bad. It looks good to me. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it looks promising, although I don't know how it's going to play outside the big cities. Bibbidi bobbidi boom, baby. I love it. Says, hey, Grace, I recall you haven't watched Buffy. It does female characters so well. If you ever get free time, it's my favorite. As are you. Thanks, bibbidi bobbidi boom. That's very sweet of you. I'll put it on the list, but I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to go back and watch something, especially if it's not going to pertain to something I could cover going forward. And we ain't ever going to discuss Joss Whedon again. Jimmy Fletcher says, I have been watching for years now. You have a fan in Guatemala. Love your reviews and your professionalism. Would you watch RuPaul's Drag Race? I have not seen, I've seen clips of RuPaul's Drag Race, although I am aware that I show up in some coverage for RuPaul's Drag Race, and that's very flattering, and that makes me have a nice particular feeling towards the show. And who doesn't love RuPaul? Let's see here. I'm not sure who Lady Demestricu is, John. Rafe says, you missed my super chat. If you had to choose your 4 favorite movie letterbox styles, what would they be? Well, my 3 favorite movies, as I've told you before, are not anymore. Rear Window, Saving Mr. Banks, and I guess maybe The Batman. It's always a Batman movie in there. Mando's Ace says, do you think that there has been a Korean revolution currently in our media, with Parasite winning Best Picture, Squid Game being huge, and K-pop taking over the world? Is it similar to the British invasion? I would agree. I think that it's definitely become very popular, and people are very interested in Korean content, as they should be, because it's fantastic. And Jeremiah says, about to finish Succession today, thanks to your recommendation. My pleasure. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the ending, because it's fantastic. And Jason says, love the Secret Invasion opening. It looks so creepy and alien. Love the content. Keep up the good work. Where are the everybody wants to know where the new glasses are. That's what I get for teasing them. I'm sorry. Chandler says, big fan. Why do you say female creators aren't responsible for their work? Do you see similarities being I do think female creators are responsible for their work. I've never said that they're not. Do you see similarities being a female scooper in a male-dominated industry? We don't have enough time to answer that. That's a complex question. But I've never said that female creators aren't responsible for their work. I think, of course, they are. You know, they're competing in the same field. Casey says, hey, Grace, love your channel. You always provide objective opinions and expert insights. Question for you. Any tea on the Zatanna movie? I don't think it's happening. And then, hey, No Angel. Hey, Paul Griffson. And then Gamer on a Budget says, are we back to the Daredevil, Elektra, and Catwoman movies era, which no one cared about? No, I wouldn't go that far. Okay. I'm afraid I have to go. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody's question. I apologize about that. Thank you for joining. Whose birthday is it? Where's the birthday? Whose birthday is it? Tell me whose birthday it is so I can say happy birthday. Wesley? Happy birthday, Wesley. Happy cake day. That's funny, Wade. It's your birthday too, Faisal? Oh, a lot of birthdays. All right, everybody, I'm sorry I have to go. I had a lovely time talking to you as always, and I will see you soon. Oh, is it your really birthday, Poke? Happy birthday. All right, everybody, have a great day. You're the best. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.